and welcome back to Andy's Bet Club podcast. My name is Jack Durkin, and this is a podcast where we look at some of the biggest games in Europe and bring you a four-leg bet builder for those games. This time we are back in the Premier League. This Saturday night, Man City take on Newcastle in their 8 p.m. kickoff. As always, I'm joined by two of Andy's Bet Club experts. This week we have Ramis and we have Rob. Fellas, how are you both? Ramis, I'm going to come to you first, mate. We were so close to a winner midweek, Benfica versus Real Madrid. An Otamendi foul let us down. What was going through your head in that game?
Yeah, me and Marcus were very unlucky with that bet build. I thought we got a lot of the game pretty spot on. I thought Real Madrid could have won 2 or 3-0, to be honest. I think the 1-0 scoreline probably they'll be a bit disappointed with the quality of chances they had in the game. The cards came in quite easy as well. Real Madrid, I think, lost it a little bit after the incident with Vinicius Jr., and he got a yellow card as well. So from that angle, there was a little bit to take. But yeah, just that Otamendi foul at the end. I thought we almost had it. I thought he dragged down Vinicius at the end, but it was Dedic instead of Otamendi. So yeah, very, very close call there. But I think on the whole, we can be happy with how our picks went.
There was a little bit of banter between them both as well, where Otamendi was pointing to his World Cup trophy on his chest and his tattoos, and I was thinking it'd be typical for him to get booked here, but not get a foul. Rob, good to see you, my man. After Arsenal's result yesterday against Wolverhampton Wanderers, if City win this game on Saturday, they go 2 points in the title race. I'm extremely excited for this game. Arsenal are just bottlers, are they not, Rob?
I mean, I find it really hard to argue with you, Jack. I don't want to speak too badly of them because I kind of used to be an Arsenal fan as a child. I used to have an email address that said roblovesarsonal@hotmail.co.uk. So maybe don't want to take the mick out of them too much. But yeah, away to Wolves and Brentford. You know, Brentford have been good this season, so I don't think that was a bad draw for them. But you've got to expect them to deliver against Wolves. I think they were 1.4 to win that match. It's just really disappointing. We were saying before we jumped on this that they almost suit being a chaser rather than leading it up. And Ramis jokingly said maybe that's actually what they're trying to do. They're trying to swap places and chase. But yeah, I mean, if City pull this back to 2 points now, which I think we'll get into that we think they will, but I don't see how Arsenal can hold them off too much longer.
I think it's in City's hands now, isn't it? If City win all their games, Arsenal win all the games, then City win the league. So it's just, yeah, typical Arsenal. If you guys watching and listening think you're an expert, we're looking for some people to join us on the podcast, give us their expert tips, advice, and analysis. If you think you have what it takes, then drop an email to podcast@andysbetclub.co.uk and let us know why you think you should be on one of the episodes. Right, let's go to the bet builder, fellas. Like I say, I'm really excited for this game. So Rob, we'll come to you first, mate. What is the initial leg in this bet builder?
Yeah, this is one I've picked out before when City went to Spurs a few weeks back, and it's an Antoine Semenyo shot on target at 1.44. Semenyo obviously been brilliant since going in at City. I've been really impressed with how he's settled in. He's averaging 1.2 shots on target per 90 there so far. He's had a shot on target in every Premier League game apart from the opener against Manchester United, where City in general really poor, really outclassed that day, to be honest. But he's been a real breath of fresh air in that City team, something a bit different for them. Like I say, really impressed with how he stepped up in the difference. When you worry with players like that when they've been kind of the big fish in a small pond, that when they go into one of these bigger sides, if they can really settle in, yeah, it's just been magnificent. Even before he went to City, he was averaging 1.35 shots on target per 90. If you actually go back across 25-26, he's played 25 times in the Premier League and he's had a shot on target in 21 of them. So, I mean, the consistency there is just it's just fantastic, and it's exactly what you're looking for. I think I mentioned in a previous pod that I always kind of go for backing shots on target with players who I think have got a lot of different avenues to get to that. And I think with Semenyo, you've got his ability from range, his ability on both feet, and also those kind of back post runs that that City have kind of become so well known for, from getting out of the kind of wide players.
Do you think Semenyo's been City signing of the season? I know it's sort of only been from January, but you touched on his track record. He's 5 matches. I think it's 3 goals and 1 assist in the Premier League. He's just been superb for them. And like you say, carried on from that form that he had at Bournemouth.
Yeah, I think he's been great. I think Cherki's been brilliant, but Cherki started slow, and I was early on not 100% convinced. And I still think that they're finding what Cherki's best position is. I think with Semenyo, he's already proven it's so obvious where he's effective. Whereas Cherki, I can see that he's a different profile. Like, he's better sitting off a little bit, playing slightly more like a 10 or even like a really advanced 8. So yeah, I think Semenyo maybe edges it so far, but as you say, kind of small sample size with 5 games. But who in the Premier League wouldn't have taken him at that point? So it's a good sign in that respect.
Absolutely, loads of teams were battling for him or wanting to get his signature, weren't they? Ramis, over to you, mate. What is the second leg that we're going to go for?
So we've gone for Manchester City to win at 1.48. We mentioned in the intro here how Arsenal, maybe they're better as chasers. I think Pep Guardiola loves being a chaser. I think he gets a little bit excited at the fact when he turned on his phone, he saw that Arsenal dropped points in the final minute. I think that second half performance from Arsenal reminded me of a side that they're almost scared. They're scared for them to kind of lose the league again. They're scared for all of the noise to start coming again, because when you've got a team like Manchester City and all of the weight and of success that they've got behind them coming after you, it's hard to kind of look at your run of fixtures ahead and have any sort of confidence. City have the best home record in the Premier League this season. They've won 10 of their 13 games. That's a joint level with Arsenal, but they've just gone with the 1 goal more. And what's really stood out to me this year from City's point of view in their home games is how good they've been defensively. They've only conceded 8 goals, which is quite the swing from last season where they conceded more goals than they ever have under Pep Guardiola at home. So he's definitely fixed that there. I think Donnarumma has a lot to earn credit and praise for that. I think he's a keeper that maybe he's not going to make 5-6 saves a game, but in those 1 or 2 saves he does make per game, I think they'll be important. I think they'll be ones that maybe earn City the 3 points in this game. Obviously, they beat Newcastle over 2 legs 5-1 in the recent EFL Cup semi-final. And in the home leg, the second leg of that tie, they raced into a 3-0 lead inside half an hour. And that was with a pretty second-string team. So Newcastle, they're not a side that really flourished at the Etihad. They haven't won there since Pep Guardiola's been at the club. And they've also failed to score in their last 6 trips to the Etihad. So it's not a ground where they have a lot of success. And also here for Newcastle, they're without Bruno Guimaraes, who's, for me, he's their best player, he's their most influential player, and when he's not in that midfield, I think Newcastle really do tend to struggle.
One thing I thought was crazy in midweek was the trip, obviously Newcastle and the trip to Karabag blew them away. I was Karabag looking like a Sunday League side in all honesty, but I can't believe that Howe didn't rest more players when he had the chance. He didn't take anyone off at half time. I don't think he made a sub until 67 or 68 minutes, which just seems crazy to me when you go into the Etihad and you're 5-6 goals up.
I agree with you, Rob. I think that's Eddie Howe kind of giving you a little hint into what he sees as the most important game. I think he's, even though they beat Karabag 6-1, I still think today you might even see him rest a few players. I don't think he's got much hope for this game at all, considering what Newcastle's previous performance at the Etihad have been like.
Pep Guardiola is the master of the second half of the season, isn't he? I'm so glad we've got a title race now, boys, because it was looking at one point that Arsenal could run away with it. I think this time last week or the week before, they could have been 9 points clear, which is just bonkers to think that now if City win this game, which obviously we hope they do, it will go to just 2 points. I actually called Manchester City winning the Premier League at the start of the season. There is video footage of that. So
I think they were favourites, Jack.
Yeah, nobody could have called that, Jack, could they?
Yeah, all right. I'm not saying I'm Mystic Mac. I'm just saying that I did call it. So back off the Perrier. Right, Rob, back to you, mate. What is the third selection for this bet builder?
Going to go for a Sandro Tonali foul, just 1+ foul at 1.28. As Ramis mentioned there, Bruno Guimaraes is absent, and that is perhaps the key point of this bet, is that with Bruno absent, it moves Tonali into the centre of the midfield 3 and into more of a 6 position rather than being an 8. Bruno Guimaraes is, we know what he's like. He's pretty heavy on the fouls, and those fouls don't just disappear when a player leaves the team. Like there's weaknesses in areas which he is covering for. So when you bring Tonali into there, he's averaging 0.86 fouls per 90 anyway, but I would expect that to increase. And he played in that role in midweek in Karabag, and he committed 2 fouls, and as we were saying, that was against a far weaker opponent, whereas Manchester City, obviously with their talent, especially in central areas, Rodri's drawing 1.73 fouls per 90. You've got, if Foden starts off the right, obviously he kind of drifts into central areas, he's averaging just over 1.3 fouls drawn per 90. So I think Tonali, his job now is changing slightly. He's not going to be tasked as much with getting forward and creating chances and scoring goals as we've seen him do at times, but he's got to break the play up, and is now becomes quite a good option for a foul in the absence of Bruno Guimaraes. And I think another element that's quite interesting is that Nico O'Reilly's been playing quite a lot higher recently, more as an advanced midfielder, and he's not amazing at drawing fouls when he's playing left back, but he's drawn 4 fouls in his 2 games playing in midfield. And I think Orai's a great one to watch when he gets going. He can be really direct, and he's a great dribbler and really good at committing bodies in central areas. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Tonali kind of cross paths with him and get this foul and get us a tick.
I'm pretty sure Bruno was Newcastle's top goal scorer in the Premier League. He's been advancing in that midfield and creating goals, scoring goals. Will Tonali also take that responsibility as well?
Yeah, I think there is actually a lot more similarities between the two than people think there is. I think Tonali, because of the kind of profile of him, Italian midfielder, really nice passer of the ball, that people forget that he can be super aggressive, but also he is pretty good going forward. He was brilliant against Aston Villa in the cup the other week. So I think more the responsibility on him now, as you say, Jack, doesn't just lie with breaking up play and stuff. He's got to kind of become a talismanic figure, and I think there has been a bit of a sense of frustration with Newcastle fans with him recently. That there's a few, I know I've got plenty of pals who are Newcastle fans saying that they think that he's kind of on the way out, that he doesn't look as interested as he maybe did at the beginning of the season, especially with, perhaps, I wouldn't say the season's gone particularly to plan for Newcastle. So a bit of a sense of frustration there.
Okay, love it. And then the final selection, Ramis, what are we going for?
Yeah, to round off the bet builder, we've gone for over 3.5 Newcastle corners at 1.66. So Newcastle averaging 6.92 corners per game in the Premier League, which is more than any other side. And that holds true when you look at their away games as well. It drops a little bit, but only to 6.38 per game. So Newcastle, home and away, are the side for corners in the Premier League. And that's not totally surprising. 35% of their goals in the Premier League this season have come from set pieces, includes corners, free kicks, etc. And I think one of the main reasons for that is because they struggle from open play. Obviously, Johan Visser was injured at the start of the season. Has taken some time to settle. Still looks decent at times, but is a doubt for this game. Nick Woltemade, I don't think Eddie Howe quite fancies him as a proper number 9. He was dropped back into the midfield against Karabakh and has been there for the last few weeks. Anthony Gordon played up front. So from open play, Newcastle was struggling. You also mentioned that Bruno Guimaraes is their top scorer and he's out. So corner, I think if they're going to have a chance in this game, or if they are going to create opportunities, it's going to come from corners. They do have threats. Malik Thiaw, I'm a big fan of Malik Thiaw. He wins a ridiculous amount of his aerial duels. He's really good in the air. And then Dan Burn, we all know how effective he can be from those situations as well. Now, you might be wondering, well, will Newcastle be able to get on the pitch that much to reach this corner line? But they've actually managed to cover it in each of the last 3 head-to-head meetings. Even in that second leg where they were completely dismantled by Manchester City, they still managed to get 5 corners. So it's such a central part of their game. Kieran Trippier should start at right back as well. He's got excellent delivery, so I can see them reaching at least 4 corners in this game.
Awesome. Okay, so to recap, fellas, our 4-leg bet builder looks like this. Anton Semenyo 1+ shot on target at 1.44. Manchester City to win at 1.48. Tonali 1+ fouls at 1.28. And Newcastle over 3.5 corners at 1.66. Combined odds of 4.0, which is 3-1. As always, you guys listening to the podcast and watching the podcast as well can back the exact same bet by clicking the link in the description or in the show notes as well. We're going to be backing it on Bet365 this time. Make sure that you're 18+. And as always, please gamble responsibly. Alternatively, you don't have to back the exact same bet that we are putting forward here. You can head over to andysbetclub.co.uk and look at all the bet builder stats that we have over there. Countless bits of information for you guys to hopefully back a winning bet builder. Fellas, I don't always do this, but I'm going to do it because it's such a vital game. Can we get a score prediction from you both? Ramis, you first, my man.
I'm going to go 4-1 Manchester City.
Okay. And Rob?
I'm going to go 3-1, not to be too similar, but that's we obviously have similar thoughts. That's why this hopefully will be a winning bet builder. So
you're just a little bit more reserved, Rob. That's all it is. I like it.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay, love it. Well, we'll be back with another episode tomorrow. I think this is a big game. Then the game that we're previewing tomorrow is even bigger. The North London derby, Arsenal versus Spurs. Spurs are the new manager, and as we touched on today, Arsenal desperately need to get something from that game. So make sure you're subscribed and following us on all major podcast platforms so you don't miss out on that. Fellas, thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your days, and we will see you all very, very soon.